Hello, KFM Jam. Today we are connecting with the incredible, the beautiful, the magical Jenni Stanners. She is a joy alchemist and guide. She is a certified joy facilitator. She is just like so real and so powerful in her authenticity. I can't wait for you to hear her story. She's gone through a massive move this summer. We were kind of like move sisters. And she moved through a lot of contrast, but she's keeping it real in terms of what joy actually requires and sharing a little bit about like what this transition has brought up and how she's grounding through all of it. It is magical. Grab your favorite tea, drink coffee, have a sit, and listen. Let me know how this lands. I can't wait for you to meet Miss Jenni. Enjoy. Hey there, it's Jillian, your guide to all things joy, and this is the Joy Journey Podcast. Oh my God. Welcome to the Joy Journey Podcast. Today, I am so excited to dive into grounding and creating sturdiness within when things around us feel chaotic with the one and only Ms. Jenni Stanners. Jenni
Yeah.
is so magical. She is a joy alchemist. She's a meditation guide. She's also a certified joy facilitator. And she helps women transform overwhelm, self doubt, and disconnection into clarity, harmony, and joy. She blends meditation, journaling, and soulful practices and guides her clients to alchemize life's challenges into wisdom. And this keeps them rooted and aligned. She's known for her heartfelt presence, her deep spiritual grounding, and her ability to hold both the shadow and the light. She's the real deal, you guys. Jenni creates space where women feel seen, safe, and empowered to reclaim their joy. Her work is an invitation to live with intention, self-love, and flow. Welcome,
Hey,
Jenni.
thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and share a little bit about me and joy.
Yeah, I'm so excited because since the moment I met you, well, obviously we fell in love.
Right?
Because joy, I just felt like I think you felt the same way. I don't know. I won't put words in your mouth, but instantly I knew you. There was this recognition there. You can share your piece on that. But since then, you kind of came into the joy realm. You did the facilitator program, and I've just watched you so courageously walk out this work in the world. I love your realness. I love you just, I've just kind of seen you peel away those layers of who you thought you should be to just show up as you are. And I feel like we have a similar experience of a lot of magic, especially this summer. We both moved. You had a big
Hmm.
move, and it was like getting to witness the someone else using the joy method to create sturdiness, even though it felt maybe really challenging. And yeah, I just want to talk about it all. I just freaking love you, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're part of our facilitator community and network. And yeah, I'm excited for people to know more about you and what you're up to.
I would say likewise. Honestly, it was like the whispers on the wind just told me like joy is the next step. Being so rooted in love, love is the way. And then I know it was meant for something more. And if I'm going to be completely honest, joy has cracked my whole world wide open in ways that I can't even words can't even express it. It really is something that just needs to be felt. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for the program and meeting you and just being part of my joy journey. Genuinely, for real.
Me too. I'm so glad we get to do this work together because it's way more fun together. Also, like there's so
Yeah.
many just reminders. I just feel you whenever you share and post and just show up. I can so feel your heart. So, okay, let's dive in. Let's dive into like the most recent transition. So this theme is around grounding. We're kind of in autumn. I know that you use the joy journal like I use the joy journal. But I'd love for you because your perspective is different. Like you're a busy mom of a big family and what all this looks like is different. And I just feel like you'll have a different level of connection with our listeners. So tell us kind of what you've been through recently and what you're using to feel sturdy through what might feel a little bit chaotic.
Yeah. So, a little bit of a background, my husband works in the oil and gas industry, and we've lived our life separate for many years, probably almost too many years to count. We've been together. We just celebrated our 15-year anniversary. And I think I just had enough is enough. And we really put it out there. Spirit, show us what else is possible. Through the manifestation using my little joy magic pads and things, we were able to call in something really huge and big. And yeah, it meant that we were moving to the Lower Mainland. Did I really know what that was gonna have in store for me? Not at all. And the journey of the transition, literally, I actually have a funny story. Spirit was like, "No, this is what is meant for you. Do not try to put on any extra." And it has me on the floor, just like, "No, this is what you're supposed to do." And so, what kept me grounded and sturdy is really just trust. I had to trust that where we're going and what we were meant to be doing, that we were held and supported. And there were so many things that tripped us up in the move. We were meant to move after the long weekend or before the long weekend. It got extended by a couple weeks, really just having to pivot so many different ways. And what really kept me rooted and grounded was being open and honest of what I really needed. Being communicating with my family, with my husband, knowing when we needed rest and when we needed to move. And then also honoring that wherever we're at right now, how that looked might not have been what we expected it to be.
Mm.
So really surrendering into, I think it's step 7, that trust.
She's
So,
referencing the
yeah,
joy
the
method, everyone.
right? Oh, and the joy method just became, instead of just really piecing it out, it started to become just natural habit
Mm.
because we were just kind of going back to it, noticing like in this moment, I'm feeling really frustrated that the U-Haul place is closed and it's a holiday. And then what do we do? I remember being in the truck with Darren and I just said, I'm noticing I'm feeling really frustrated now in this moment. I just need a minute. And he was feeling really frustrated in the moment, and I knew he needed a minute. And I said, listen, just zip your lip. I think there was actually choice words said. And we just went and grabbed coffees and we just took a minute to breathe, coming back to the present moment instead of letting our thoughts wander was so, so helpful. Cause like our thing that we used to do would just be big blow up, everything's happening to us, na 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 na, and then we're at each other, and then everybody's like hurt feelings, not okay. But instead, what was happening is one of us, or even sometimes at the same time, we were helping ground each other.
Mm.
So me with the joy journal every day, saying this is how I want it to go, and me verbalizing it out loud, just so everybody was on the same page. So when things started to go a little bit haywire, it wasn't just me trying to hold the alignment for everybody.
Mm.
Everybody was working towards holding the joy because it was like, y'all, we've been so separate. And what we really want is connection and our family to be together. And so it almost felt like any disconnect that was happening with the transition wasn't the energy that our family chose to bring forward.
Mm.
So just, I kept saying, like, joy is our number one job. Manage your frequency. I don't care if something's tripped you up or you're tired or exhausted. Just tend to nurture yourselves, guys. So, I mean, our truck ended up in the shop and we were without wheels for 4 days. And we're like, okay, well, what are we supposed to do? How do you get back to 12 hours away to your new home? And that's like one thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing you can do is just trust
Mm.
and lean into joy. We were supposed to be celebrating our 15th wedding anniversary. And instead, we're, in those sweatpants and T-shirts, just exhausted without even the energy to celebrate. So instead, it was Chinese food and hanging out with my sister and having a sleepover on her couch. But we found the little glimmers and we really kind of held each other through it. And I think we also prayed a lot and just
Mm.
said, Spirit, just hold us in this moment because it was very much a lot of unknown. And we just kept being blessed,
Yeah.
being open to receive. And I was like, okay. And it was very uncomfortable at times because that's not our normal,
Right.
but we did it together. And the transition of the move and how difficult that was, but using the tools, that was almost the embodiment practice
Mhm.
because I didn't know that moving here, and this actually will make me a little emotional, but actually getting here, that was my greatest test of joy.
Mm.
Being given the gift that you've been dreaming of for years and years. I think it was 2019 when they get you to write those stories of, the day in your life. What would that look like? I finally have it. And what it was actually meant with was grief.
Mm.
And so, but through the transition, anchoring into my joy, using tools of communication, knowing my boundaries, being so anchored in my joy values and my joy habits, that kept me so sturdy that the last 4 weeks of grief were manageable and I didn't get taken out.
Mm.
And now this just past weekend, I'm like, I'm in full joy and I'm accepting all of it. And yeah, it's just so, so good. And Yeah.
Can I ask you thank you. Thank you for sharing your heart. And I just wanna ask, what was the grief around? Was it situational? Was it around if you're open to sharing a little bit more? What did come up for you? Because I think it's important to show that when our dreams do come true, like, it looks so good on paper, but it often does involve a lot of other emotion, and that joy does require us to feel all of it, not just the good stuff, and I feel like you really went through it. So if you're open to sharing.
Oh, 100%. For a while, I was kinda like, "Okay, what is this?" I'm kind of shitting on myself a little bit that you've gotten everything you asked for and you're here not feeling good. Like, what the heck? And what I comes down to is grieving that my whole life had changed. I went from being, I guess, a solo parent that was in a relationship married, but it's kinda like a single mama
Yeah.
without that's a solo mama. And so here I am having to relearn what it's like to be a wife with their partner 24/7, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a learning curve and that can be
Yeah.
uncomfy sometimes. I got to starfish in my own bed, like Dan would be gone
No, it's only half a
26.
starfish.
Right? It is. And it was like 26 days at a time. And then it's like having to redo routine. I'm also being a homeschool parent and my kids are back into public school. So like the roles of what was required of me different. Just grieving that this is what life used to be and is no longer.
Mm.
And now left with who am I? Who am I as a mom with all this extra time for her joy work and for other things? And I had Olive home with me 24/7, and now she's in day home. I built so many beautiful friendships and a community in Alberta, and that's where my home is. And to just uproot all of that and to be planted somewhere else was really jarring and uncomfy. And for a person who kind of struggles with feelings of abandonment and rejection, I really had to sit with that for a while and just realize where not to abandon and reject myself and just allow myself to realize like, "Hey, you're safe. You're okay with this and you can hold it and it's meant for you." Actually really allowing myself to feel worthy of this big dream
Oh,
because it's huge
yes.
to go from not having your husband around and being a workaholic to having someone here to nurture me and to love me the way I want to be loved.
Mm.
So huge, and grieving a little bit maybe that I don't actually have to be in that victim story anymore. So
Ooh.
what does that feel like to live in power? Damn, that's been a lesson.
Mic drop.
So, yeah.
Wow, I so love the transparency here. So, Jenny, what would you say helped you through the discomfort, the grief that you've been moving through? Because I think a lot of us in those places would probably disown or resist those feelings because you're like, you should not be feeling anything other than grateful right now. Right. So, can you tell us, like, is there any practices? Was it your daily practice? Like, what helped you to feel sturdy through that time?
Well, I think it was really waking up each day and grabbing that journal. It's back on my nightstand, and it's the first thing that I grab, because when I say, "How do I wanna feel today?" and I know that I'm not feeling that, it's an immediate trigger in my mind to be like, "Jen, you're not in alignment. You said you wanted to feel this way and you're not." So then I'm getting curious. Why am I not feeling the way I want to? So there'd be some days I'd wake up and then I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay, here we go. We're not feeling super great." And so that would be me to take the inspired action to go sit outside in my swing, or maybe I really need to get out in the community and explore a little bit. And I would notice that getting out in this new place that I'm in was, oh, wow, there actually joy does live here. Because I can get stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
And so noticing the thoughts, I mean, oh, okay, is this what I'm saying in my head's not actually true? That's my biggest thing, is noticing the thoughts and that pattern interrupt. And it's just being anchored back into the joy method of like, whoa, okay. And noticing in my body, being present and dropping into my body tells me before my mind does, because I'm so busy up here that my body's like, "Hey, girl, you need to shake it off. You need to dance. You need to move." So, yeah, I think that was really helpful. And then another piece of it was just noticing my resistance.
Mm.
I noticing I'm trying to keep myself small and in this bubble because I could stay here and I could stay in the discomfort, even though that's not what I really want. And so I went out on a limb and joined Country Cutie auditions to be a part of a dance team.
Yeah, you
And I'm
did.
like, country's not really my jam, but I'm like, you know what is my jam? Joy. And I know that being around other people and in community brings me joy. So I was like, okay, let's just try it.
And you are
So
a cutie.
I am cute, hey? And you know what? Surprisingly enough, I made the team and I can actually handle line dancing. So yeah, I was like, both can exist at the same time. But what I'm finding is when I give more energy to my joy, it's harder for the grief to kind of poke its head out. However, what I really needed to do is give the time and presence the joy requires. Because I
Mm,
can't, there was a couple times like, oh, just sweep it under the rug the first couple weeks. And that's when I was like, enjoy mastermind even like, "Why am I still talking the same old, like, not liking it, not liking it." But I really just had to open up and be like, "Okay, grief, I see you. What do you wanna tell me?"
yeah.
And then when I heard it speak, then I was like, "Whoa, okay." And then I was free of it. It just
Yeah.
really wanted to be heard and felt.
I think that's why. So, the AAA formula, awareness plus action equals alignment. I think a lot of the work that we do in the joy realm is around the awareness piece. And because there's so much power and magic there, it's like our feelings, most of us, again, are very dissociated from our feelings. We're taught to stuff them down from a very young age. But what joy requires is for us to honor our feelings as our informants. And I do believe, just like you said, they all have messages for us. So Jenny's saying, grief said, I listened to what grief had to say. How often do we sit with grief? It's typically just so uncomfortable and you just feel it. But what if you were to listen to it? I think that's the question. And then we get to honor it. And then we get to bring it along instead of it stopping us or feeling like it's just overwhelming. It's like, no, actually, do you now feel like you've brought it along with you on your journey?
100%. Grief was just telling me that little Jenny wanted to feel sturdy, to feel safe, that moving feels uncomfortable and new beginnings feels uncomfortable. But when I realized and said, "Hey, we're actually okay here. I got you." Then she's like, "Oh, okay, moving doesn't mean that I lose everything."
Mm,
So, and I really just had to show myself what do I have to gain and
right.
tell myself it's okay to feel the way I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So, and especially in this fall season, it is a habitual cycle for me to not feel super great in this season. And rather than run from it, I'm like leaning into it, but not from a lens of wanting to fix, but to release the shame.
Mm,
It's okay for me to want joy and not feel okay.
yeah.
And it's even better for me not to try to run from it and dissociate.
Yes.
'Cause, like me, I'm a master dissociator.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much for me to do it and just to recognize or even speak out loud, "Hey, guys, I'm not feeling super awesome. You might catch this." Just the other day, something triggered me, and I was starting to slip out, and Darren grabbed my arm, and he's like, "Hey, where are you going?" He's like, "Come on back." I'm like, "I'm still here." And then but I was like, "Whoa." He was actually right, just left to it. I coulda kinda just went back down into it, but no, it's because I'm not, clinging on to that shame and that guilt. It's
Yeah.
okay to not be okay, but for real,
Ooh,
like, just
say it again.
loving my shadow. It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
So and I've said that lots, but I needed to know, and I needed to believe that it's okay to not be okay. And it doesn't mean that Jenny's less than, if she's having a rough time. I'm still 100% this beautiful, awesome joy warrior that I am, even in the down days, even when stuff ain't going right.
Yeah.
It's
You're
all
still
good.
a badass joy warrior, a beautiful leader, and you get to be human.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I feel that too sometimes. It's like, oh my God, I didn't fucking journal today or whatever it is, the humanness. But I think from my experience with sobriety, I had to learn how to release shame in order to to reclaim my power. So it's something that I noticed very quickly. You'll hear me say like, shame's good for the 1 second it supports a shift. So it's like, what is this showing me? Is there something here or is it something for me to release? We get to be imperfect. We get to be human. In fact, and I know you'll agree with me, the leaders who I look up to the most are the most human ones. They're not the ones telling me how to do everything from the top of their castle. They're the ones who are walking beside sometimes, showing me what gets to be possible when you show up courageously and open with an open heart and open to new possibilities.
Mhm. And I've always wanted to be an authentic leader. It has been such an important pillar for me. So it's no surprise that when stuff comes up, I'm required to walk right through it. And that's what I've asked for. So I think that also kind of helps me be like, oh, uh huh. Jenny asked for this. So we're walking it out and kind of keeping that eagle eye perspective. What is it here to show me?
Yes.
So, without sugarcoating, because sometimes life actually just sucks,
It sucks
and also
balls.
allow that. Mhm. Yeah.
Wonder if that'll make the cut. Well, sometimes life's just sucks balls, you know?
Yeah.
So eloquent. Okay, I would love to hear because like I just feel like you are this beautiful leader rooted in joy, right?
Mhm.
Is like to maybe help people listening, anyone who's currently going through a transition. What would you actually encourage them to do to feel as sturdy as possible through the wobble?
I would say give yourself the time. Give yourself the time and space to be.
Mm.
Coming into the present moment and giving myself time to be with my being is such a gift. Like when I'm not feeling okay, sometimes it's just in the shower, even just letting the water wash away and being like, okay, I just need this moment to breathe and to give yourself a little bit of okay, how do I take the next step forward? And then also having a support system. You got to have that one or two people that you feel safe with to speak. And if you don't even have that one or two people, grab a journal, have what's in your heart or feeling heavy go to paper because
Mm.
we're not meant to carry it all. I've tried to do it while I'm carrying it all, and it's so dang hard and it just keeps you stuck. And how do you transition if you just got the weight of all the things? We really do have to go through the junk and through the mud, but know what tools you can grab onto. So I'd say communication with others. If you don't have a joy journal, grab one. If you don't have a joy journal, go to the dollar store and grab one even and just ask at the top of the page even, what is it that I need today? What would best honor me to even just move like through or feel one step better? So, and talk to us joy facilitators, reach out, because
Yes.
there's a lot of us out here. We all have a different experience and medicine to share. And you don't have to do it alone. You really don't.
No, I love that.
So,
There's so many people, there's so many beautiful joy beams now guiding this work and in very real ways. I say I'll link it up in the I'll link to you obviously in the show notes, but also a link to the facilitator page. I love that recommendation. You don't have to be alone.
no, no. And I've been alone for so long. And I think when I've thought that I was alone, I'm actually not. So, remembering when you feel the most alone, if you can just find that one little silver lining, find that one little something that reminds you that you're not.
Yeah.
Go look for that and then just keep pulling because you'll find all the ways that you really are truly held.
Yeah. And
So,
so
yeah.
is that maybe another recommendation? Find evidence of connection. Find evidence of what would you say? Find evidence of
Um Glimmers.
mm,
The glimmers of life, like what gratitude. Actually, thank you for the reminder. I leaned into my gratitude practice pretty hard every day, just, keeping it almost back to the original joy journal of what are the 5 things you're most grateful for? Gratitude helped me realize that actually there's so many beautiful things that it's not actually as dark as I thought. My mind likes to play tricks on me, you know?
sneaky.
So, yes, very
Nice
sneaky.
try.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love all of this. I think also what I've experienced in you is witnessing you really what's the word I would use? I guess it's like honoring your focus, but I guess alchemizing, it's really just finding what you're desiring. So I've watched you move to a new province and I've watched you share about, was it an antique car and truck show?
Yes.
So like for example, tell me all the things that you have looked for and found since moving to the mainland.
Ooh, okay. So the country cuties, I used to be a cheerleader, hip hop dancer. It is not my genre at all, but I knew that I would find some sort of joy there. I really had to lean into trust because it made me uncomfy. This is not the space that I'm used to being in. But I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna find a little glimmer of joy there. And the girls there are absolutely wonderful. They're beautiful. And then the car show. Little Jenny used to go to the old car shows with her grandpa. And so that lit me right up, like, and that fueled me for I don't even know how many days. And I was able to make memories with my kids. Sundays are my place for joy. So as a family, we go out and we've been checking out little donut shops or little stands, driving down the highway with Lily and finding, little dahlias in these little mason jars for $5. That carried me through a day where I didn't want to get out of bed. Just little things like that, and then realizing, like, yeah, this is the dream, but having to get outside of my 4 walls, out of my head, and to just give joy a chance. There's a really cool water park around the corner, It took me weeks to try to get in there, and I just kept saying, "Spirit, I want a little bit of summer. This is what I really, really, truly want. I just wanna be a kid in the lazy river." And then eventually, school came into play, and then they were still open on weekends. We got to go when it wasn't busy, and we got to float in the sun, and it was flipping amazing.
Oh, I love it.
So, just all these little pieces, and I think it's October in a couple days, and I'm like, "Wow, okay, I'm actually liking it here. I'm feeling at home, and we're feeling good." And I was like, "Okay, I just really needed to find what joys live here
Mm,
and me to live and be a part of it."
right. So, like, what now?
Yeah.
Kind of looking toward instead of what you've left behind.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love it. Okay, so when we hopped on this call, we started talking about who you serve. And we talked about how it's women and also families because, when you're working, if you are a mom, it's around raising your own vibration, practicing joy, beginning within so that you can actually serve those around you. And I think what I want to share is that conversation we had because I always talk about how joy is an inside job and we light up the world from the inside out. But I feel like you have actual tangible evidence of this. Can you share with us how your alignment with joy and your walking this path of facilitator beyond has allowed you to do that, exactly that?
Mhm. It is absolutely wild that I made joy my number one job. Everybody knows Mama Jenny, joy's her thing, but it's rubbed off on my kids so much so that when I'm out of alignment, my son will be like, "Not the joy way, mom." And he calls me
Rude.
out. Right? So, I mean, that's also part of it of when you're in it, the people around you will realize when you're not in alignment and call you out on your joy stuff because it's something that I live and breathe and embody. It's spilled out onto them. Lily had volleyball tryouts, and she wasn't feeling particularly lovely about it, and I joy methored the crap out of her. And then when it came to my auditions for dance, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe country music's not my thing." And Lily just looked at me she said, "You better be going because, like, that is a part of your alignment and your joy." Like, I taught her, so she's teaching me back. And then my first joy facilitator signature session was from busy to being and teaching myself the importance of being present with the rewards of what that is has spilled over to my husband, who used to be a workaholic, was always in the field and wanting to do, do, do. And now he's like more in his being and making time and space for family and his joy and what he values. He's been manifesting like a boss. He just had a meeting with his boss and he was given the option. Would you rather work in the field or would you rather continue to do this managerial stuff and work in the office? And he's like, I choose the office. And it was that he's choosing his joy.
Yeah. Ooh,
He's choosing his
fulfilling.
family. Yeah. And on a deeper relationship level, when I'm talking just woman to woman kind of thing, for
Mm,
your man to go from workaholic it was in 2020 something where we were separated and ready to call it quits because of the dissociation and people not meeting each other's needs to, "No, I actually do wanna put work aside. I want my wife, I want my family." To hear that, huge. And, not to toot my own horn, but I was the catalyst for that. I wanted to ripple, and little Jenny had a dream of what life should look like. I didn't grow up with a life like this. And when we talk about like what fuels you, what gets me through those dark times really and moving through the groove, why I reach for the joy tools, because little Jenny had a dream and joy is what is getting me there. And
mhm,
so I continue to anchor into that. And spirit showed me that it's possible. I used to throw up in my mouth like joy was a dirty word, not meant for me, something only for Christmas.
mm,
It's meant for everyone.
all the time.
It's just all the time. Yep. It's just some of us, I think, are so clouded in the heavy, what's been put onto us, the busy. But when we have a chance to really sit with our truth, and you're like, wow, okay, yeah, no, that is meant for me. And you'll find a way. And
Mhm,
my husband found a way, even.
yeah.
And he's brought me so much joy. So,
Mm. I'm
yeah.
celebrating this. You, him, everyone so hard.
hmm
Like,
He's worked really hard.
you've really done amazing work. And that's the thing. This is the other piece that I think is so important to share is, and it might push people away from the work, but it's like joy actually does take work. It does require us to take full accountability. even earlier when you're like, oh, I just realized that was a place where I was in victim still, like that level of accountability, of catching ourselves, of shifting ourselves. That's what joy requires. And it often does involve moving through the shadows because, we need to clear out those shadows in order to make room for more of what we actually do want. So I'm just really celebrating you. I'm so grateful for you. You're such a beautiful and powerful leader of light and authenticity and soul joy in this world. And the soul joy being the things that you feel. It's not always a bright shiny. It's this remembrance that it is grounded and deep and sometimes very quiet. It requires us to honor all of our feelings, not just the shiny ones, and really walk that path of true alignment. It's courageous. You're so courageous. And I love you and I so appreciate you.
Thank you. Love you too. Likewise, I'm just grateful for you to be the catalyst. And thank you to Nana, because like Nana Beulah, thank you. Thank you. Like for real. I'm like, I identify as a firefly.
She's
Because
referring I love this referring to the lighting it up like a field full of fireflies. Thank you, Jenny. I just felt her light up. Oh, so much Nana love, so much love for you. I'm just cheering you on. I can't wait to continue watching you unfold all of this magic in your new home, your new life with your beautiful family. And for everyone watching, where can we find you? Where can we follow along with the Jenny magic?
yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm getting a little bit into TikTok. I'm practicing showing up and being there more for you. And I have some really cool, exciting things coming up. So yeah, keep an eye out.
Eyes on you. Okay. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, such an amazing chat with Jenny. I feel called to share a little bit more about the Joy Facilitator program. We actually have an intake coming up. It is beginning in November, on November 20th, actually. This intake will be from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. MST. It is all online. It is weekly sessions. You will learn how to guide, lead, and inspire with joy. You will be in a container with other joy leaders who are also making joy a priority in their lives. Whether you are a wellness professional, a coach, a therapist, in HR, or simply want to light up your community with joy, I invite you to check it out. It's at the academyofjoyfulliving.com and feel free to reach out, inquire, apply. It's a 6-month certification program and it is absolute magic. I'm here to light up the world like a field full of fireflies. Perhaps you identify as a firefly and you want to light it up together. I just know we're not meant to do this alone. I don't want to do this work alone. I know I'm meant to build a bit of a movement in terms of us leading from the inside out and really remembering that joy is not what we do out here. It's not about changing or fixing or rescuing or controlling. It's literally how am I showing up in my own life, in my own body, my own home, my relationships, my career, like what does this actually look like to make how I feel my number one job and then inspire from there. So if you feel the call to lead this work, take a look, grab a link, reach out with any questions. Yeah. And here's to lighting it up together.